So we're getting pretty close to Avatar: The Way of Water, and it finally releasing in the theaters. Now, I'm really curious to how this movie is going to perform, especially knowing that the budget was extremely bloated, making this one of the most expensive films of all time. In fact, as it says here in the subheadline, it's in the top 3 of the most expensive films of all time. It seems like bad business, this movie. I think you could have made it a little cheaper, but that's on them. Well, actually, it's on Disney because they bought Fox. So Disney has absorbed this. So if this movie does bad, it's going to be bad for Disney. Yet another flop for Disney. But I don't think it will. I think it's going to make money. Whether or not it makes $2 billion, though, what James Cameron is to have said about the budget, needs to make $2 billion to make money. I don't know. I don't have anything against this movie. I understand a lot of people love Avatar. I don't care for it. If you like it, more power to you. I'm really wondering how the movie is going to perform. I think it could go either way. It could make the $2 billion, or it might catastrophically fail. And, I'm still going to laugh at that if it does fail, mostly because it's on Disney if it fails. So honestly, I'd rather it not do well because, big middle fingers to Disney, who've had some tremendous flops this year. Lightyear, Strange World. Let's keep the chains going. Let's keep them moving. But the headlines that are coming out for this movie, I find funny. So I don't know if I haven't seen anything that makes me think this movie is like woke. But you have to love how these people advertise this shit. James Cameron's activism makes Avatar more powerful. So James Cameron's running around doing interviews now, saying stupid things. I don't know what's going on with him. Maybe he's got the woke mind virus. I don't know. But this one was kind of strange. So he does an interview with the Hollywood Reporter, and what's funny about it, as Bounding into Comics points out here, is he barely gives any details on the film. He's talking about testosterone and how it's a toxin, which goes right up there with all of these attacks on toxic masculinity. You're too toxic. You're a toxic man. Man, it's too bad all those firefighters that rush into, burning buildings, all that toxic masculinity at work. All those toxic first responders who rushed into the Twin Towers, they're all terrible, terrible things. Toxic masculinity has built magnificent things. I hate how they call it toxic masculinity. It's toxic to be a man. But now he's out here saying testosterone is a toxin that you have to slowly work out of your system. Now, what kind of soy-based shit is this? What is this? James Cameron, the director of the upcoming Avatar: The Way of Water film, claimed that testosterone is a toxin that you have to slowly work out of your system. Oh, is that so? Looking at you, James, it does look like it's been worked out of your system. In a wide-ranging article from the Hollywood Reporter spotlighting Cameron and the film, which ironically doesn't get into too many details of the film. That's what's funny about this. Like, what the hell is the point of the interview if you're not going to talk about the film at all? Like, isn't that what you want to promote? Desperately want to promote because you need to make $2 billion on this movie to, please the studio masters? Like, you need to make a lot of money. This is a big investment in this film. I'm shocked that it got this much money 13 years. Like, the time to put this sequel out would have been 4 or 5 years after the original. But they waited 13. So, a brilliant idea. Has there ever... Yeah, there has been. I was going to say, has there ever been a movie that's waited this long for a sequel and did well, and then, Top Gun. So, it could make money. It could be a success, but you're asking a lot, $2 billion. I guess the advantage that this movie has going for it is that there's really not a lot coming out. There's really not a lot coming out. I haven't seen a lot of movies I'm even interested. Aside yesterday, I saw this movie about a bear who consumes some snow, if you know what I'm saying, and he goes on a rampage. That actually looked pretty interesting. Not interesting, it looked entertaining. But anyway, Cameron discussed his working relationship with the Walt Disney Company, who is producing and distributing the film after they purchased 20th Century Fox. I completely forgot about that this is a Disney production. So it's gonna be bad, another bad movie for them if this flops, because they absorbed all the costs for this when they bought Fox. Cameron noted he hasn't had any big clashes with any of the Disney executives. Maybe it's still a honeymoon phase. I don't know. We'll see. If the movie doesn't make money, then maybe the honeymoon's over. The director would then contrast with his previous interactions with executives at 20th Century Fox from previous films that he now claims that he would not do given his age. A lot of things I did earlier, I wouldn't do career-wise, and just risks that you would take as a wild testosterone-poisoned young man. Testosterone poison, by the way. By the way, sir, your career wouldn't be a thing without testosterone-made movies. I don't think people would even know who the hell you are if it wasn't for Terminator 2 and Aliens. Now, Aliens starred a woman, but that's a classic action. That movie is great. He's got a lot of testosterone-fueled movies that benefited him and pushed him up to the status that he has now. It's such a sad thing to say. Like, you wouldn't have a career if it wasn't for toxic masculinity and all these, like, old action movie bangers that you put out. And I'm not taking anything away from what the man's put out. The man has put out some fantastic movies. True Lies comes to mind. You know, he's done a lot of really cool action movies. Damn, man, age just changes people into some weirdos sometimes. Like, he's become a wimp. He then added, I always think of testosterone as a toxin that you have to slowly work out of your system. What's that toxin? The one that helps you fight off cancer and a lot of other things? Keep your muscle mass and strength and your hair, as they point out here. It's an important part of you. Like, it's just, I don't know. What are you thinking, man? What is your problem now? You know, I get it. You're a little bit more peaceful, but I mean, you would think you wouldn't have the privilege to make a movie like Avatar: The Way of Water for $2 billion if it wasn't for your past. Anyway, we'll see how this movie does. I am very, very curious, and you know, I don't know. Will it make $2 billion? I don't know. I don't think it will. That's a lot of money. It's very rare that a movie just bangs that out. It's not usually expected either. They're expecting it for this movie. Like, it usually just is a natural thing. Like, kind of like, it's almost like a magical thing. Like Top Gun making the money it made. Like, nobody saw that coming. I'm sure everyone thought it was going to be a hit. But for it to make the amount of money it made, that was something special. Is this movie going to be something special? I guess we'll find out when it comes out. Anyway, that's pretty much it. Let me know what you guys think. Also, if you would, please like, subscribe, share the video. Make sure you're still subscribed. Hit that notification bell. Comment below. Check out my Rumble and my locals, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace. Make sure to check out my locals. There's a link in the description. It's a fun community that I'm trying to build over here. If you don't want to support me on YouTube, you can come over here. None of that money goes to YouTube. You also can just come over here for free. But if you are a supporter over here, I do plan on doing an extra live stream once a month and throwing links to the supporters so you can actually come on and have a supporter live stream with me. Also, it's a good place to catch all of my content. You don't have to worry about notifications like YouTube. They'll definitely work over here. So come check out my locals.